You reach now number 4, and I mentioned it before. You could argue 5 and 4 could be flip-flopped, and we're talking about Hanwha Life, the OG gatekeepers of playoffs. Never made playoffs as an organization since they came in. They bought the Rocks Tiger spot. Since 2018 summer, they've been one game away, one series away, one single backdoor away countless times, but never actually cracked playoffs. All you need to do, I feel like, to get through that door is get Chovy and Deft. Oh, all right. That'll help.
Ever since the branding coming through for Hanwha Life, getting that sponsorship, that big old insurance company money. And hey, mainstream money is the bigger thing to really be looking at as far as the sponsorship. We've been looking at saying, when's the checkbook opening up? When are we going to see that flex of that financial dollars coming through? Here it is. It's arrived. And oh boy, does it look good seeing your boys in the Hanwha Life jerseys in those colors. An exciting time to see this level of free agency. And as you talked about, a squad that has been on the gatekeeper level, that has been just on that bubble for playoffs and hasn't gotten playoffs. Hey, that's changing Hanwha Life. You're in.
Let me just quickly say, you'd be hard-pressed to surround Chovy with 4 players that are of the LCK caliber where I wouldn't pick them as a playoff team. It almost doesn't matter who the other 4 players are. That's how good Chovy is to me.
And even better, it actually does matter on Hanwha Life. Who are those players? That's the exciting thing when you're talking about those moves. Obviously, numero uno has to be talking about Chovy in the mid lane. Look, you want to talk about LCK mid laners? Really, to me, you're talking about 2. You're talking about Chovy and you're talking about BDD. You know me. I love Faker. Faker's my boy. But come on, you're talking about performance within the last year and a half? Absolutely. You're looking at Chovy, you're looking at BDD, and recently, of course, Showmaker at the highest level of performance. Imagine being able to snag one of those boys for yourself in free agency, and that's exactly what you got for Hanwha Life.
And, okay, so we saw Chovy and Deft both on DRX with 3 pretty unproven players around them, right? Doran didn't have much experience. Piosik and Kyria were both rookies. They made it to Worlds. They had some dominant runs throughout the LCK, a lot of it forgotten because of Damwon absolutely annihilating everybody. But overall, I think you would say a successful season for DRX. So you run it back, and it's kind of similar with this Hanwha roster. They might not be rookies, but you look at Morgan coming over from World Elite, really not even a full year under his belt on the big stage in the LPL. The jungle spot seems wide open. I feel like they're going to start CAD. They kept him from last year. He's still young. He was on their academy roster for a while. Seems like they're grooming him. And then Vista in its support, one of the small spots they don't have a sub. They're not rookies, but it's still youngsters that Chovy and Deft can help develop.
Right. And as far as, what might give you pause, what is your question marks? What are you still needing some more proof on for this squad for Hanwha Life? You're looking, as you said, the jungle and support position would certainly be areas, and that's only because you're talking about the level of player that you have elsewhere, right? You're talking about a level of Chovy, Deft. Well, who the hell stacks up to that? Not very many people that you could be looking at, obviously. But the big one, of course, yes, Chovy, Deft, those are huge. But the sneaky one, the one that I feel is going to absolutely pay off the biggest for Hanwha Life, and is that X factor between them finishing in this 5-4 position and finishing as a 3-2 type of team. This is the difference maker that someone like Morgan can make. If we continue to see his level of progression, look, I was asked about this last year heading towards Worlds and, seeing what we had seen from WE. Morgan is one of the best, one of the most exciting top prospects that I've seen so far come through. And to get him in a situation like this, to be in a league like the LCK, where we were just talking about Keen and how much he can dominate and what it is to be an elite level top laner in the LCK. You keep your eyes on Morgan, my man. He is on that path.
So with DRX, last year's version, you were talking about the jungle and support as the highest ceiling prospects, right? Especially Kyria, people were most hyped about, and as we saw, rightly so. But now it's the top side. It's Morgan, where you saw that ceiling. You saw glimpses of it with World Elite, where he could be a dominant force. So that, I feel like, should be an emphasis for them. The jungle and support spots probably just don't sit super nice with people because Hanwha had the, 1-win, 2-win split where they were playing most of the games.
I think an important question, and one that is more than justified, looking at that bottom lane and looking at Deft last year. And yes, Deft comes in with a ton of respect in what he's able to do, obviously game in, game out. But I think a lot of people would be, forgetting that last year, a lot of the games, a lot of the big performances from the bottom lane, you were looking at the plays that Kyria was making really to set a lot of that up and get that positive momentum going. And yes, that's because Kyria is an amazing talent and one of the best at the support position.
Yeah.
But obviously that's when you're looking at, again, this year and you're saying, I don't think you're getting the exact same from someone like Vista. So it's going to have to be on. So it's going to have to be on Deft, right? To step up, to be that level of play, to get back towards that level that people were putting that praise on him at the very beginning at the turnaround for DRX.
And let's not forget that he ended 2020 on probably the worst stretch of his career that we've seen out of Deft, which obviously is a Hall of Fame, incredibly illustrious career. But he's not coming into this year as off a dominant run or anything.
That's exactly why I'm saying it's not out of the question that you're looking at that bottom lane. You're realizing that, hey, that's not Kyria alongside Deft. Of course it's not Kyria. You're going to have to make some type of adjustment or expectation of performance. But you leave that door open to say, of all the players to step up and make up that difference on his own and play at that high level again, why can't it be Deft?
Yeah, and a new organization not under the boot that was DRX and a seemingly horribly ran management. Hanwha Life, you're not going to have those issues.
Hey, we said it. Their insurance company that, steady middle that road, those finances coming through. Hey, you ain't having that trauma that's been going on with DRX and the absolute circus that was the ownership group and how they've handled that. Not the same at Hanwha Life. You're not even going to think about it. It's insurance. It's boring, my man. It's out of the way. Get on the rip.
They have the money and they've invested it in esports. We've seen plenty of orgs have tons of money and not give any of it to their esports team. Not the case with Hanwha Life. They're in at number 4, but that's all the time today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. Thanks for hanging. We'll catch you on that flippity flip.